Welcome to Rochester Business Connections, powered by Balbert Marketing, LLC, where I get the chance to chat with Rochester, New York's very best business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. I am your host, Ben Albert. Don't forget to subscribe, and remember, we don't do advertisements. My fee for this show is simple. If you gain value from the episode, personally share with a friend and explain your favorite part. Let's get started. Welcome everyone to Rochester Business Connections. I am here with Rebecca Phelps. Rebecca, how are we doing this morning?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm super happy to have you here because you're the first dance instructor. Rebecca is the owner of Gracious Dance and ultimately a young entrepreneur. So I'd love to hear, what you've done thus far and some of the plans for the future. So this should be a lot of fun.
Awesome. I'm excited.
So Gracious Dance, from a bird's eye view, tell us a little bit about your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Gracious Dance is a studio that kind of goes beyond teaching and technique. And we just focus more on the benefits of dance and sharing those benefits like expression and encouragement and growth in other ways. And we just focus on sharing those with people of all ages, abilities, and experience levels.
I love it. And obviously, to be a dance instructor, you have to love dance. Was there a moment in time or a series of events that you just I'm really passionate about this. This is something I want to do as a career?
I think I've always wanted to be a dance teacher. I have pages from elementary school, when you write down what you wanted to be. And I was always a dance teacher. So I don't think there was a moment for me. I think I was always working towards this, but I think it was in college and high school that I kind of realized how much dance meant to me. So beyond just the fun of it, how healing and therapeutic it really can be. It helped me through some of my darkest times. And so it was really life-changing. And I just wanted to create a studio that had like a different environment for people that kind of went beyond and gave people that life-changing, like therapeutic kind of movement, because I think people really need that.
Yeah, especially in these times we're in a stressful time period.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yes.
so it's less, I am not a pro dancer. I would probably look silly. It's less about the techniques and you're more focusing on the whole mindset and movement behind dance.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what does the ordinary client look like? It sounds like you work with just about anybody.
Yes, anybody. You could come down to the studio and it would be absolutely fine. Yes, we work with anybody, any age, any ability level, any experience level. So you've never danced before, you've been dancing for a couple years, whatever that may be. As long as you want to dance and want to move, we're here to help you. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been talking to friends a lot lately that things like music and dance are healings. And
Yes.
in times of stress, it's easy to forget about those things and we all have to socially distance. So, are people coming into the studio? Are they doing it virtually? What has the last 6 months looked like for you?
The last 6 months has been just crazy, but people I think now are feeling more comfortable coming into the studio. We have, spaced out so that everyone feels safe and is 6 feet apart and following guidelines and stuff like that. A lot of masks and stuff when we're not 6 feet apart. So I think we're doing the best we can, but we did have a period of virtual learning as well. So we had to adjust to the Zoom and just the struggles with that and with being on camera versus looking at it from a reverse view and all of that stuff. We had to really work the kinks out, but it ended up, going as well as it could. I think everybody just, did the best they could in those circumstances. So, yeah.
Well, when we talked offline, you talked a little bit about how Zoom like mirrors the camera, and tell us a little bit about that struggle. That was funny.
It was funny. I think that's, maybe a unique struggle to dancers right now, where it took a couple of weeks for mirroring and everything like that. Normally in the classroom, if I'm facing the students and I want them to use their right, I'll use my left. But a camera on Zoom mirrors it for you already. So I'm like still mirroring for them. And they're like, wait, which hand am I supposed to use? And I'm like, wait, which hand are you supposed to use? So just funny little things like that, where it was just an adjustment period. But it definitely was quite funny to think about after the fact. I'm like, why couldn't I get this? And so it was quite funny.
Definitely a lot of adjustments and reinventions happening in this day and age for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. So I always like to talk a little bit about Rochester. Are you a Rochester native? How long have you lived here?
So I have been in the area all my life. I grew up near Churchville area, and now I'm in Greece. So I've always been around Rochester in the city, and I love it here. I really do.
And your studio's in Greece?
Yes, my studio is in Greece, right off Westridge Road.
Awesome. So Rochester, weekend out. Let's assume that this was before the virus, or we could just do things that are recent. Well,
right.
where's your favorite places to go? What would you recommend? What do you enjoy to do in Rochester?
I love the Memorial Art Gallery. I had so much fun, the few times that I've been, just walking around with my friends. And so I really enjoyed it there. It was very peaceful and restful, just with all the stress and everything like that. I'm not sure if they're open now, but going on now and stuff like that. It was just so nice to have just an escape, and it's so quiet, peaceful. You get to go around and look at art. So definitely there, and probably get coffee too.
I love it. Yeah, I love the mom, right? Or wait,
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I pronouncing it wrong? I'm getting confused.
I think it's just Memorial Art Gallery. So it would be
the
Ma'am,
mag.
Mom.
The mag. I called it the
Oh,
mom.
yeah. Museum. We were thinking.
Oh, that's funny. So yeah, dance. I don't know much about dance. And I'm curious, if you have any mentors or, professional dancers that you looked up to and people that ultimately helped you along the way to get to where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel very, very fortunate that I do have quite a few role models and mentors that work in the industry with me. It's a very female dominated industry, which I love. So I get to see and be friends with and be mentored by strong women every day. So as a woman, that's like incredibly, I feel so incredibly fortunate. I think like what I've learned most from them, and working with them is that you can't be afraid to fail, and you have to just trust your capabilities and trust that you know what you're doing. A lot of women, and I know I'm included, struggle with self-doubt, like, oh, I'm not capable for this role. I'm not, good enough for this job. I can't do this on my own. But I think the biggest thing that they've taught me is just not to be afraid of that failure, and that you are capable, and you have to remind yourself that you're capable and go out and push towards your dreams. And it's definitely worth it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And it seems like you've embodied that by building a studio that isn't about rigorous exercise per se. It's more about becoming comfortable with the movement. Am I
Hmm.
pretty much spot on? It sounds like it
Yeah,
would be a great place for someone like me who's a beginner to go.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. We do focus on the technique and giving you the best training possible.
Right.
But we've created just an environment that's more encouraging and not, expecting you to be this perfect ballerina walking in or anything like that. And what I like most is just that if a student is feeling a certain way, especially in these stressful times, we're able to, pause and ask them about their day and make sure they're doing okay, and the little things like that, that I think is so important in working with kids, especially, but with people in general. You just want to check in on them, and so I'm so thankful that we have an environment that we can do that. That it's not all about how high you can kick, but how you're doing. So
It
yeah.
sounds like a great welcoming environment, and you'll learn how to kick high over time, right?
Yes. Yes.
So starting a business comes with, a lot of decisions, a lot of budget, a lot of cost. And I'm a firm believer that you need to spend money to make money. You want to funnel in your energy into the business. But I also have lately, with the virus and this and that, have been looking at efficiency. And I'm wondering, if there's a purchase of $100 or less that you've made in the past year earlier on in life that ultimately just destroyed it for your business. Well, you're so happy that you made this purchase for just, dollars compared to some of them.
Yeah, this one is gonna sound. My answer to this is gonna sound silly, but the purchase, under $100 that I made that really just changed my mindset was a notebook, actually. So, that I was contemplating for a really long time, starting my business and if I could do it. And I had a lot of those that I talked about earlier, those thoughts of self doubt, like, oh, can I do this? Do I know my stuff? Like, am I capable of this? And so finally I had this thought and I was like, okay, well, what separates me from people who go out and own their own businesses? And I said, people who own their own businesses, they have really nice notebooks. So I went out, I bought a notebook, and I started the paperwork to start my business that day. So obviously it was more the mindset and convincing myself, that I could do it. But if you are questioning starting your own business, anybody out there, all that's standing in your way is a really nice notebook. So go out and get it, and follow your passion. So
There's something to be said about that, putting pen to paper,
mm-hmm.
and it's almost like affirming I'm doing this. Like it went from a
Yes.
thought in your head and then
Yeah.
suddenly you're mapping out exactly how you're going to do it. Um, no, that's great. And we've all come a long way, but we're both still pretty young adults, and I'm learning every day. I've made so many mistakes in the past few years in my
Yeah.
business. It's crazy. I'm curious if you could look back at your younger self, maybe 18 years old or even younger, and give yourself advice that you know now. What advice would you give for, the little version of you?
I know. I like this question. I really do believe, everything happens for a reason. So as much like as I would go back and change, I am so thankful it brought me to where I am. But I think the biggest thing that I would just tell the younger version of myself is that um, it's so important to just keep pushing. Like, you know what you want to do, be confident in it, and don't let anybody else tell you, you can't do it, you're too young, you're not good enough. Just keep pushing, and be confident in yourself, because I definitely think, if I could if I could do it all again, then, and I had that confidence earlier on, maybe I could have pushed forward a little bit sooner. But I do think everything happens for a reason. So I'm happy to be where I'm at right now. So, yeah.
Without a doubt, I resonate with that. If I had done it differently back then, I'd be 3 steps ahead already.
Right. Mm-hmm.
However, sometimes I don't know, like you need to have those mistakes to learn and be good for now. So yeah, everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Now that we've gotten all existential and deep, let's go to the rapid fire round. I like to
All
ask just
right.
simple, questions where the listener can get to know Rebecca a little bit more.
Sounds good.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Beer or wine?
Wine all the time.
Cats or dogs?
I have to go with both. I do.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
I am a night owl. I struggle with the morning.
Same. Do you have a favorite season?
Fall, definitely.
Fall. Favorite ice cream color? Flavor.
Flavor. Well, green for mint chocolate chip.
What's funny is Rebecca and I are recording this in the morning, and it's not even like the crack of dawn, and I'm still getting out the morning like brain, farts that always happen. Do you have an iOS or Android?
I have an iOS. Mm-hmm.
What else? Have you moved over to ebooks, or do you still like a classic hard copy?
I'll read ebooks, but I prefer a hard copy. I really do.
Awesome. So we talked about a lot of things. I thought this was very valuable. I am sure everybody wants to get in touch with you because they're like me. They can hardly, walk in a straight line without doing something goofy, and they probably should work on balance and dance, and it's good for health and body and mind. How do they get in touch with you? Do they come into the studio? Should they email you? What's the best way for them to stay in touch?
Absolutely. The best way to stay in touch right now, especially with everything going on, is just virtually, digitally through email, text, or call. So my email is my email is dancegracious@gmail.com. My website is graciousdance.com. And then you can feel free to give me a text or call if you're interested in more information at 585-409-1303. And I'd love to show you around the studio then, but of course, right now, walking in isn't the best option, but we'll be happy to greet you there if you do have to walk in.
And to note, I was being self-deprecating. If you're a great dancer, you can work with them as well. You can handle all levels and all styles of dance.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to keep in touch on social media, are you on certain platforms that you use for Gracious Dance?
We are. Right now, we're on Facebook and Instagram. So you can find us at Gracious Dance on both of those platforms. And we love to do videos and stories and all that good stuff. We're currently doing a Move Monday series. So you can still jump in on that for one more Monday this month and be entered to win 15% off next month.
Love it. Any last tip for the audience just to end this with another piece of gold?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the theme of this interview has been don't doubt yourself, you can do it. But I really stand by that. If you have a dream that you want and you just keep working for it, just go for it. It's going to be hard work, but it's going to be worth it. So do what makes you happy and go for your goals. Yeah.
Go for your goals, everyone. Rebecca, thanks for coming on. This was fun.
It was fun. Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
Thanks for listening to Rochester Business Connections. Don't forget to share this, rate, and comment on your favorite platform. You can also email me, ben@balbertmarketing.com. Let's connect soon. Until then, keep thriving, everyone.